Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the most underrated and overrated brawlers for this season in ranked. So the underrated brawlers, those are going to be the ones that I end up picking and carrying surprisingly, and then overrated are the ones that my randoms just pick all of the time, and it's just so frustrating because they're not actually that strong. So think about buying anything in the shop, make sure you're using a credit code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, so jumping into the first brawler, which is really underrated right now within ranked and just in Brawl Stars in general, it's going to be Surge. So Surge always goes through these stages where, hence the pun, sorry. He goes through stages literally within his super, but anyways, yeah, it goes through stages where sometimes he's incredibly overrated, sometimes he's underrated, and right now he definitely is the underrated section. Main reason being because he has got a few buffs within the last, I don't know, 6 months. He's got like health buffs. I think he's got a couple of health buffs. I think the meta around him has definitely helped him out. But I just think the map pool in general this season in ranked, I know I've already discussed it before, but it's really helped out Surge. I'm seeing him played a lot on literally this is perfect map, my first game of ranked. And Surge just absolutely claps anyone on lane, even Charlie. But that is a bit of a bad showcase right there. I mean, this gadget is still just absolutely crazy. And we should just be able to walk this in. Okay, absolutely beautiful. That was a much quicker game than I actually envisioned. But yeah, Surge is a fantastic carry option. Use the speed gear and just take a look at those stats. I didn't show the first 2 games because I want to keep this video nice and short for you guys. But 14 and 3 on the Surge. Like, how can you even stop that? There's hardly any really big counters to him in the meta. The only biggest counter really is more longer range maps where you can keep distance and not feed him. But grassy maps, you're able to get your levels so incredibly fast. So that's going to be the first brawler, which is really underrated. Trust me, try out Surge a lot, especially with the shield gadget and the speed gear. Let's jump into the next one. Guys, so jumping into the next brawler on the underrated list, of course, we've got my boy Gus. So Gus has returned to the meta, I believe. People are really sleeping on this brawler. So the big buff that he received last update, again, not many people are really talking about it. I guess Gus is kind of a forgotten brawler in that sense, but he received a buff to his super. So whenever you super you or your teammate, a little kind of knockback bubble will happen, which is beautiful because the biggest problem about Gus is that he has no knockback feature. Brawlers like Piper do, and a lot of other snipers do. Whilst Gus, he just got absolutely destroyed by all of the assassins and everything like that. Ever since Cookie Popper got nerfed, it's just been Gus's biggest problem. So yeah, he's still a really fantastic brawler. Knockout bounty, I think he's one of the best brawlers. People sleep on it. Typically you look at like Angelo, you look at Piper, Nanny, but I think Gus is in the category where he's super strong. One of the best for sure. I think he's definitely going to return to his former glory for sure. So you can go so aggressively as a Gus. Like a good Gus player can get a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of HP for a sniper. You've got to bear that in mind as well. That's going to definitely go in his favor. I want to kind of push forward here, but I'm careful of Angelo because he can just 4K me. Nanny's going to get a beautiful super in there. I can tank that with my super if needed, and it's just Angelo left, and there's nothing that he can do. So these games are going beautifully so far. Fantastic. Let's take a look at the stats as well, because I believe we had a really good Gus game literally before I press the record button. 4-0, just plain and simple. Gus is super underrated. Let's hop into the next one. Right, guys, so jumping into the final underrated brawler on the list, we have Rosa. So right now we're 1-1 in this set, and Rosa is super underrated. The main reason being is because she got a small buff to her hyper charge rate, but I think before that anyway, she was definitely slept on, and the map pool has definitely helped her out a lot, just like Surge. This map, for example, can be pretty underrated for her, especially if they haven't got brawlers that can scout the bush as well. I can just create havoc, so I should be able to eventually get in here. Stu with a missed shot. We can just pop down our gadget here just to get some extra healing. Looks like this Stu is a little bit angry here at his buster, but I think I'm going to get pinched out eventually here. I'm going to pop super just to try and stay alive on the zone as long as possible. But again, like the best thing about Rosa is that I think some of her biggest counters received like nerfs, which has allowed her to eventually win her matchup. So for example, Charlie takes an extra shot to get her super. You've got Cordelius, who also takes longer to get his super. There's just a lot of scenarios like that can help Rosa in those 1v1 scenarios. So I think that has really turned the tides for her. So I'm going to pop hyper charge here just to run down the Jessie. And then we should just be able to get this last bit of the zone. Just buster left. He can't really do anything because I'm inside the bushes. Healing up. And yeah, that is pretty much GG. So again, maps out which is pretty good on. Sneaky fields. You've got center stage. You've got this hot zone map here. I think just as a late pick as well, she's just super underrated. You can switch the build a lot. Sometimes I even put on the 4th gadget gear as well, just to give me even more surprise elements, especially with 4 slows on center stage, for example. If I need 4 bushes on this map, it can be a big problem for the opponents to deal with. So for me, I think Rosa is incredibly underrated in this meta, especially with, as well, I forgot to mention, there's a lot of good synergy brawlers with her. Sandy becoming a meta brawler just synergizes with Rosa even better. Max, for example, synergizes with Rosa. So for me, I think she's definitely one of the most slept on in this meta. Let's hop into the next brawler. Alright guys, jumping into the first overrated brawler on the list, I went with Griff. So I'm not really using him in the best scenario here because I'm kind of using a wall break when I've got a dynamite and a Nita, and I shouldn't really be doing that. But at the same time, I just think overall, I don't know what it is about Griff mains. They're just, I don't know, just trying to throw it in my face all the time that Griff is actually a good brawler. I mean, he's not a bad brawler. When I put him in my tier list, you know, B/C tier, it's not bad. It's just more so there's better brawlers in the game that just do more, like super. I think the biggest problem actually with Griff is that when he received that nerf to his super charge rate, like, remember when you used to just be able to spam out supers? That was the best thing about him, I think. Like, you could chain through supers and just rip through people. Now his super just feels a bit meh. Maybe we need to buff his super damage a little bit, and then he actually might feel like a decent brawler again. But yeah, the only reason really competitively that people use Griff is to stop like cheesy strategies. I mean, he is good for pressure when used a business resilience star power. He's pretty good to just push up the map and just really hard to kill. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of brawlers just outrange Griff naturally. I think a lot of the time there's just a lot of easy counters, and it's just hard for him to have a good matchup against people. Like, whenever I watch competitive, again, like the person that's on Griff, they're always the one struggling. They're always the one getting outranged. They're literally just there to break open the map. Like I see him on maps like Duel and Beetles, just literally to break open the wall to stop cheese from like throwers, for example, or I don't know, like Jesse. It's a good counter to brawlers like Jesse. He's just there to press the gadget button. Like, people are offended by that, but at least he's got a place in the meta. There's some brawlers, some people that have brawler mains out there where they literally have no use case. At least he's got a bit better since he got the damage buff. But this is where things get a bit dangerous. Jesse hypercharged turret, but we're staying alive. I mean, I love the business resilient star power. Just look how annoying I am. I can constantly just shoot and heal up. That's an underrated thing about him and forever will be. And I can't believe there was a moment in Brawl Stars history where people didn't actually believe this star power was any good. I mean, I was one of them. I was a big hater of this star power because his other star power helps you connect a lot of damage, but business resilience definitely is the better one. So let's try and hold on for the last 15 seconds here. We need to just stay alive for as long as possible because a Colt can deal a lot of damage. Okay, Colts just ruin their chances of winning, just running in recklessly. Rico's going to die as well. Just a Jesse left, and we should be able to confirm that. So, I mean, Griff, he's not a horrible brawler, but it's more so that people tend to go him in scenarios where he isn't needed, if there's just a better option. So that's going to be the first overrated. Let's hop into the next one. Okay, guys, jumping into the next brawler who I consider pretty overrated in this ranked meta. It is Leon. So for a couple of months, well, probably like 3 or 4 months, Leon was literally the best brawler in the game, or one of the best brawlers in the game, because of his hypercharge, how quickly he could cycle, and he was just so good into everything. But trust me, right now, Leon is very overrated. I don't know what the Gus is doing. Like, what is he doing? Why is he going so aggro? But the main reason being is because I think 2 months ago now, he received 2 nerfs essentially. So his damage at maximum range got nerfed. It didn't really seem like a lot, but it was like 30%, which is a lot to his super charge rate. So the second nerf is the super charge rate. So literally a prime example is on Shooting Star. I got like just barely 2 supers last round, because it just takes forever to charge my super against these guys. And especially if they're good players, they can keep the distance against Leon pretty easily. So if you want to make stuff work with Leon, you've really got to get a lot of value out of your first super. Again, I'm not saying that Leon is like a trash brawler or anything like that. He's still actually pretty good, like B, A tier, quite easily. It's more so like people think like you can just carry and just literally go Leon into everything anymore. He does have his counters, he does have his weaknesses for sure. But the Sprout is absolutely popping off right now. You'd love to see it. Popping in Biz. I was hoping we didn't see that, but I did just pop it literally in the open. I don't think there's too much I can really do here. Maybe I can sneak in and try and get a little bit of damage there. Beautiful. Might be able to stay alive. Nice. Oh, this Mandy is popping off. I mean, maybe Mandy's underrated or something. This guy is absolutely cracked right now. We're getting close to our second super. I'm using smoke trails as well because, especially against snipers, I want to try and confirm kills quickly, but it's not really working out the way I really want it to, so maybe I'm just doing a bit of a disaster class here on Leon. Come on, just literally a bit of a super away. We're just going to go for the Piper. I know she has jump, but should be able to confirm the kill anyways with smoke trails. Nice. Sprout just confirms it anyway. So literally, I played 5 games of ranks and I've won every single one, even up the overrated brawlers. You can see here, like, I actually was trying pretty hard. And, I mean, Mandy was carrying, but I just literally couldn't get my super against these guys. I couldn't even make an impact on the game. And good players can just group up and counter Leon anyway. So, that's going to be another overrated brawler. Let's hop into the final one. Alright, guys, jumping into the final overrated brawler on the list. It is BB. So, again, this brawler isn't terrible. I actually like BB. I think she's a pretty decent brawler in the meta. It's more so that my randoms are just seeming to pick BB in the weirdest of places and like picking BB early on in the draft. So, if you guys don't know, BB is an easy brawler to counter. Surely you guys know that by now. There's so many easy counters to her. Like literally any brawler should just be able to walk up and just feed super from her. She's already really good on grassy maps and maps with a lot of walls. You know, heist for example, she's good. She can be a good late pick. I literally picked BB in hideout late on in a draft and it seems to be working decently. But again, most of the time she's just very limited in range and there's just better options. There's just so many tank counters right now in the meta. So hoping my teammate actually reconnects to the game. I'm trying to get some pressure, but all 3 of them are grouped up, which is literally the best way to counter a brawler like BB. Broken. It's Leon Gadget. Go away. You're distracting me. Let me lock in. Right, beautiful. G misses pull, so this is a great chance to just walk up here. Colt pops his hypercharge. That is the worst thing to possibly do. Now I can't even push him. Why would Piper even do that? I mean, I'm going to get knocked back, but should just be able to push into these guys anyway. Leon down. Gonna pop super onto them. Nice. I don't even know what is going on. I somehow got a kill. I'll take that, apparently. That is really skillful from me. But yeah, let me know whether you think BB is overrated or underrated. I just think people just rely on her too much. I mean, hypercharge is actually pretty good. Oh, yeah, cycling it. Okay, maybe BB's underrated. Maybe I completely underrated BB. Holy, I just popped off at the end there, and I'm a terrible BB player. Again, she's good. It's more so I'm just angry at my randoms, just like, I don't know, picking BB first pick, even in Brawl Ball, and then the opponents have a chance to just take 3 amazing counters like Charlie, like Surge, like Primo, and then the BB just does nothing the whole game. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Also, I just want to show you, I literally won all of the games with these underrated / overrated brawlers, so maybe all of these brawlers are underrated. I don't know. But yeah, that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.